Hey YouTube, double beyond the hype here with Lickitung and Pharaoh. So Lickitung, we are going to look to see if that body slam buff brings it back to sort of meta relevance. And two, Pharaoh, a lot of people are hyping up Pharaoh. Is Pharaoh worth that hype that it is getting? Let's take a look at both. So quickly on Lickitung, again, if you're newer to GBL, like I guess the last like 4 seasons, Lickitung was the #1 ranked Pokemon. It has insane stats, super low defense, super low attack with good defense in itself and really high stamina, so it can take so much damage. It has that normal typing, so it only has one weakness you need to worry about, which is fighting, and you double resist Ghost in the process. Now, it had Lick, Body Slam, Power Up. So Lick is actually not a great move. It's a one-turn move, which is helpful, but it's only 3 energy and 3 damage, so not great in terms of the damage and energy per turn, especially versus all those fast moves we've been looking at, and we'll look at Peck in a second here. Had Power Whip, which is very nice cover move and like an okay hitting move. Again, 17 turns to get to because of how slow Lick is. So 17 turns for a 90 power move is not good, but it was good enough to provide you the coverage you need on this Pokemon. Now, not like pretty much unless Body Slam was resisted, you pretty much went Body Slam when Body Slam was higher damage than this. However, between giving the 5 damage back on Body Slam to get it to 55, plus getting same type attack bonus on this, you are now sitting at 66 damage, which 1.89 damage per energy is higher than the Power Whip. So you have a couple things, couple strengths going for it. I mean, it always had the stats, it always had the typing, and even this is the way I like to think about it. And when I played with it, I'm like, okay, I still get it, why it's still ranked lower, but I think it still has play. Power Up didn't get nerfed. Lick didn't get nerfed. Its typing didn't change, and its stats didn't change. And it went from the #1 ranked Pokemon to like the number 200 something ranked Pokemon just because Body Slam got nerfed. So Body Slam is not fully back, but in my opinion, being almost back and getting the same type of attack bonus on this does make this thing relevant again. I really liked it in these matchups. There's a lot more steals now, which you're going to see a bunch of Corviknight matchups and even Jirachi's right off the front here. A lot more steals, which makes it trickier with your Body Slam Power Whip. Build with it if you're going to do that. Otherwise, I think it's going to have some play, and we'll look at it here. Pharaoh is the other one that I used. Ranked 114, but again, people seem to love it. People like it as a safe swap. It's like one of the top higher ranked safe swaps. Higher-ish attack, low defense and stamina. It got that Peck, and again, we just looked at a 3-3, right? So here we are looking at a 3.6 and 4. Getting to these drill Pecks, a 2 damage per energy move in 10. And now with the drill run coverage right there as well. At so almost the same amount of damage, more energy, almost the same amount of damage, but basically just your cover move. So you're throwing drill Peck all the time, unless you need to hit a steel or a rock, then you throw the drill run. Normal flying. So the normal doesn't do much because you're half flying. So it basically picks you up a double Ghost weakness and like resistance, and then you offset the fighting weakness with the flying anyways. So 3 weaknesses, electric, ice, and rock, all coming from that flying typing, but you do double resist ground, single resist electric, and grass and bug. So it's kind of interesting. What I will say about this Pokemon, having used it, it felt like, and it's not the same Pokemon, and it's very different stats. It felt like Shadow Zapdos when I used to play it in the Ultra League. So Shadow Zapdos is, again, very different in a few things here. Like, it's not as fast, the fast move is different. This is like less hitting and more charging. But it was one of those things where with this, even with the shadow bonus here, you're hitting at 100.8 damage. It would never take out, and that is the product of like Thundershock doing not enough damage. It felt the same on Pharaoh. It felt like the Pecks are a good, like a decent move to chip, but with the drill Pecks only doing 84, it doesn't really matter how many times you're chipping with Peck. You're not going to take it out just by going, unless again it's super effective or whatever. You're not going to take it out going Peck, drill Peck, and then Peck. You're going to need to throw a second move. But the problem is, as it says right here, less bulky. 104 defense, 124 stamina. And it was one of those things where it's just like you needed to like use shields on this thing. which is why I've got like a Lickitung, and then again, Lickitung's weak to fighting, and you neutralize fighting here, and steals may be an issue because you have nothing to throw steals here, and rock will be an issue here, so I covered it with Annihilate. So that's how I covered the team. But it just felt like Pharaoh needed shields, and I understand how it can be a safe swap because if you get a couple turns ahead on energy and you have that drill run for your cover, you're looking pretty okay. I'm not sold on that, and we'll go over some battles here. So had a weirdish lead where I was hitting super effective with my licks, but then the charge moves were resisted just for them to give it up. So I do grab a shield. Peck is super effective here, so we won't read too much into this. If they have Ice Punch, I wanted to see what they can do. Unfortunately, they throw a Rage Fist, and that Rage Fist is resisted because I am half normal. So I'm already at Drill Peck. Again, this is an easy matchup, so I'm not reading much into this. If the Jirachi comes back in, hopefully I can get to a drill run, but if not, as you can see, those confusions are adding up. I do get to move. Like, the spam on this thing is good, 10 and 12, like there's no doubt about that. And these moves do chip, especially with like a higher attack stat. When you add that in, you're definitely chipping these. So here comes a resisted Drill Peck. I don't think it'll take out from this range. But you know, that's pretty good chip. Coming in here, going to shield anyways. Getting that counter through. And what's in the back? Kingdra, so let's boost this attack right away. They are going to have to throw an Outrage. Octazooka is not going to take me out, and I still have a pretty healthy Lickitung in the back. And Lickitung has all that bulk to go with it, so we are looking pretty good here. They throw the Octazooka. They don't even get the attack fall. Not going to work. Lickitung into Corsola, so great lead. You're resisting Ghost and you hit super effective with Lick, so they're probably going to get out here. And they go into Gastrodon, met with the Flyer here. So, Mudslap to resisted. Fantastic. Here we go, though. One Drill Peck, not going to take this out. Not even close. So, could I take this out with Peck? Maybe. It'd be very aggressive and you have to shield up a move, but I'm shielding up that move anyways because I just don't trust it. And again, this seems pretty quick, so this is probably just Body Slam. Body Slam on this Pokemon is terrible, so... oh, it's a Water Pulse, so there we go. Jeez, and I can't even take it out before they... Okay, I can. But here we go. This is what I'm talking about. I do have a ton of energy. It's a Carbink. I threw Blind too, so that's just a rookie move. But I will get to a draw in here because I have so much energy. But shielded up a Drill Run. No, Jesus. Shielded up a... Wow, I am losing my mind here. Okay. Shielded up a Water Pulse. Mudslap is double resisted on the flying. Still took a second one and was down to the deep red. Now I could have taken it out before that second Water Pulse because I'm aware that I did commit to the aggressive farm down. But if you're in a scenario where you don't want that to happen, which I think you probably would not want to put yourself in that scenario if you didn't have to, then you have to throw that Drill Peck and still like be down a shield. So again, it's one of those like you still need to kind of spam these Drill Pecks, which you can. It's only 10 to get to, but at the same time you're burning shields pretty quickly too. So I don't know. We'll see a few more matchups here. I've been playing so many matchups that it's like I remember some of these, but not all of these. So here we are in a weird one. Licks are adding up because it's super effective. I have no charge moves for this. And they have an Aura Sphere. And I already shielded one. There's no way I'm double shielding a Lickitung when I have a Pharaoh in the back. So I have to take that move. They do not take me out, but the confusion is going to take me out if I don't throw here. So I will have to throw. And this is enough if I remember. So I do keep switch, but at what cost here? I'm now down shield and now going to come in behind energy. And I can't come into my fighter because then I'm screwed. But it's not like Pharaoh can take really any moves here. I'll be interested to see if I shield this too. I don't shield. And there we go, down to the yellow. And I'm borderline Dragon Breath. Dragon Breath got nerfed in the damage department, so I don't know if they could take me out here with Dragon Breath. So they're probably going to have to throw. But here comes the second move. So I think what a lot of people get excited about with Pharaoh is the spam on this thing. And if you just consider it, if you consider it the way that you would consider, no, but it's worse than Drapion. And Drapion's getting like 100 damage for that shadow. Sorry, I'll hide that here. Actually, it's behind the battle, so you can see how. No, I'm not going to hide it. Okay. Drapion, when you take off the 20% for the shadow, yeah, you're down 20, you're down 26. That's 110 defense, 118 stamina. So that's pretty similar, and at 20%, that's actually more attack. So I guess the stats are going to be pretty similar to, not exact same, but similar-ish to what a Shadow Drapion is. Shadow Drapion has that Poison Sting, so it's going to play very similar to Thunder Shock plays on Shadow Zapdos. So this plays closer to Shadow Zapdos. Pharaoh plays somewhat like Shadow Zapdos, where you still need two moves, but you're still charging at a crazy pace that does put pressure on your opponents if you can shield up the right move. And I think that's why people like Pharaoh. Yeah, okay. That's the thing with Drapion too. Like, you pretty much need to shield a lot of the moves that come with Drapion. Can you live some moves? Yes. Are you going to live them in the yellow red? Yes. That's the same thing with Pharaoh. Can you live a move? Yes. Is it going to be in the yellow red? Yes. However, you'll never take out in one drill peck. We've established this. But because you're spamming at a rate of 10, if your opponent has a charge move that's sort of like 14 to 18, right? And you shield up, or sorry, 14 to 16, I should say. And you shield up 1, you theoretically can get to 3 drill pecks by the time they get to their second 16 turn charge move, right? So I think that's why people are getting excited about Pharaoh. You've got a Shadow Drapion type stats with a similar-ish spam, little less on the damage there with those drill pecks, but can really apply pressure to the shields if you have either an energy advantage or you shield up theirs properly and they've got like not a quick charge move. So I think you're going to have trouble against Pokemon. I know where you will have trouble because I went against one and I killed the Pharaoh. It was against a Blastoise. I had Blastoise on a team, and Blastoise, Pharaoh came in. I forget if it was a safe swap or Pharaoh came in. Blastoise met with it immediately. Rollout super effective, which is just helpful in itself. But Rollout Hydro Can was basically enough to take out the Pharaoh. I think it was like 3 or 4 Rollouts in a Hydro Can to take it out. Whereas one Drill Peck is nowhere even close to taking out Blastoise. So the problem is, Blastoise can take one of their 10 turn moves, but by the time Blastoise is at, because Rollout's so quick on the energy and Hydro Can is such a quick charging move, that's only 12-9. So it's not like these 16-16 that I can get to a third Drill Peck. It was basically like, oh, by the time I'm at my second Drill Peck, they can live one Drill Peck and they shield up the second Drill Peck. They're at their second Hydro Cannon and I'm going to be taken out there. And it just seemed like a very easy matchup. So I think Pharaoh is going to have a lot of play against sort of like Pokemon that either don't spam fast. Yeah, that like don't spam fast and don't have a ton of bulk, where it can just be like double Drill Peck. Where they're going to struggle against Pokemon that have bulk, that you're now at like 2, maybe 3 Drill Pecks, and those that are spamming at a hard hitting rate. And this brings me back to my team that I used last season. I forget what the exact team was, but it was something to the extent of like Feraligatr, Drapion, Serperior. Or no, it was Lapras, because I need some bulk. Lapras, Drapion, Serperior. And the thought process behind that team was you have Pokemon that all did 90 to 110 damage moves in the 10 to 12 fast move range. So Shadow Drapion, does 100 damage on this crunch at 10. Lapras does 96 damage with the sparkling arias at 12 and 11. And Superior did 100 and... I'm just looking up behind the scenes. 120 damage for Frenzy at 12s. So those are the type of Pokemon that are going to cause... Again, not those exact Pokemon, but those are the type of Pokemon that are going to cause Pharaoh some problems there. Where it's like, you got some Pokemon that can live your Drill Pecks. Like, pretty much everything can live your Drill Peck unless it's super effective. That are also spamming at a hard rate. And those moves are really chipping and putting on pressure for you. And that's where I think Pharaoh's going to struggle. And then where it's going to be strong is it's going to be strong where it... you got like those sort of middle health Pokemon that maybe are a little slower on the charge, or that you can just like potentially out spam if you have a little bit of a shield advantage, like this, like the ones that are slower here, like Sea King here, even with the Peck. I don't know, it's only 12, so I don't know why they didn't throw. It's only 12 to an Icy Wind here. But this Hydro here, I get this Drill Peck off. And if this Hydro doesn't take me out, it's like I'm like 1 HP. And I'm only living because the Mud Shots are resisted. Okay, literally 1 HP. And I get taken down there after 2 more Mud Shots. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, if you cannot... I think this thing... Yeah, that's where it's going to struggle. In the zeros. I said I tried to give you a bunch of different scenarios just to tell you that it's probably going to struggle in the zero shield scenario, because you cannot one-shot things, but you cannot take it. Its record is actually 16 and 37 in the Open Great League, but that's probably behind on... Yeah, that's even energy, even shield, which is... How do you do with one Peck? Whoa! That's why they're calling this thing a safe swap. That is probably one of the craziest swings I've ever seen in a Pokemon with one fast move advantage. That's actually nuts. Against the meta, I didn't put in optimal IVs, so just take this as a general sim. Pharaoh is 16 and 37 with a 438 average against the meta. If you use it as a safe swap and get one Peck through, one fast move, that 1637 record with a 438 average becomes 30 and 23 with a 551 average. I have never seen a Pokemon pick up so many wins and so much average with the one fast move. That is insane. So this is why everyone's saying this thing is a good safe swap. Holy smokes. I gotta imagine even energy, even shield scenario, it's probably gonna have some problems in the zeros. Yeah, 21 and 31 in the zeros with a 448 average. And the 2 shield, I wonder if you can just out spam here. 25-28 with a 479. Yeah, so you're starting to out spam here. And then it does not affect the one Peck advantage. Doesn't affect it as much in the zeros and 2s. This is a very weird Pokemon. Very weird Pokemon. So in the... Okay, sorry. Just going through the thought process of all this. It seems like it has a very specific play in this meta. In the zero shields, you're in trouble because Drill Peck's not going to take out, and basically one move is going to take you out if it's like any sort of like neutralish hard hitting move because of how glassy you are. In the 2 shields, because you can spam enough, your record's okay, but some Pokemon are just going to be too bulky. Some Pokemon are just going to have fast move damage. Other Pokemon are just going to, just hard counter you anyways. So your record is like almost 500. I think it's like slightly below 500 there. Your record in the one shield, even energy scenario is terrible, but then you become a freaking beast when you get one Peck in the one shield advantage, like one shield, one energy, advantage there. So how do you judge this Pokemon? It's the number 12 ranked Say Swap, and if you take out doubles, like Empoleon is listed at 2 and 5, Primeape is listed at 1 and 10, and Feraligatr is listed at 7 and 9, the Shadow and non-Shadow variants. So if you take out all those doubles, what we're looking at, 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Look at the 9th ranked Pokemon here as a Say Swap. Because if you get a Peck advantage, you do become a crazy Say Swap. But then your opponents can like take you in different shield scenarios. Some that crazy 30 plus win with 1 Peck. Actually, you lose more even if they just 2 shield it and take you to the 2 shield scenario. So I don't know. I think this Pokemon could be used with that Peck advantage. Let me just check one more thing here. What are your hard losses anyways, even with the Peck advantage? So you have the 1 shield scenario. You have 1 Peck advantage. Your record is 30-23 with the 551. Okay, the electrics are obvious. The electrics and rocks are obvious. Like, so those are your hardest losses. Morpeko, Carbink, Bastiodon. Even Credilli, where you hit neutral, is a loss here. But even so, like, again, I knew it. It's going to be stuff, Lapras, Blastoise. These are the exact Pokemon that I expected you to have problems with. Pokemon that can very easily live your charge move while still putting on pressure with their moves. Obviously, Lapras has Ice Beam, which is super effective. But even the Blastoise with the Rollout Hydro Cannon is going to take you a 2. So it's just these Pokemon that can put on pressure, and even Fret beats you. Now, it's closer, even with the Peck advantage, it beats you. But it's close. But just because it can take your charge move and you're not, and it's spamming at your pace too, it's going to take you out there. Interesting. Okay, so this is going to be one where, yeah, I don't know. I also mentioned, let me mention one more thing as we wrap up here. I mentioned that flying has gone down a lot, and someone actually said, well, if you look at the flyers, there are actually a lot more flyers in the top 100 than there have been in the previous season. And while that is true, there's definitely more flyers. Corviknight, Togekiss, Dragonite, Gyarados is 4 in the top 50. And then you have Gligar, Murkrow, Dodrio, Altaria, and Togetic at 95. So and Emolga at 100. So you're looking at like 10 or 11 in the top 100 flyers, which is more than it has been. However, I still say it is under because I've been playing since season 1. And I remember the wing attack, how strong that was. And not only did we have 11 in the top 100, we probably had 11 flyers in the top 40 with a wing attack. It was like Mantine and Pelipper and Gligar, and all these Pokemon were like 3 and 6 and 10. We had like 6, I think we had 6 or 7 flyers in like the top 20 at one point. So yes, it is great to see a lot more flyers this time around. At the same time, you're not anywhere near you were before. And that has also, on top of the buffs that some of these grounds have gotten over the past little bit, it's that wing attack nerf that caused the huge decrease in flyers to be around that really made all these grounds just swell to the top. Because one of your hardest checks got like super nerfed, and all these Pokemon in the top 20 were no longer usable. Pelipper, top 15, 20 Pokemon, 395. Mantine, top 25 Pokemon, 478. I mean, they nerfed Jumpluff. Jumpluff's 207 now. Mandibuzz is 213 now. Talonflame is ranked at 241, which is insane to me. How is Talonflame ranked at 241 this season, even with the Incinerates? That's insane. Skarmory. Skarmy was a top ranked Pokemon before they nerfed it a couple times there. I'm trying to see what else is down in like the 4 to 5. Noctowl. Noctowl was a top 5 Pokemon before they nerfed the wing attack. So we did used to have an insane amount of flyers in the top like 40 to 50 that we don't anymore. So yes, there are more flyers this season. And it's nice to have a check to all these grounds, but it's still not where it once was. Now, whether that affects the meta or not, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Tomorrow? Today? When's this going up? I think today. I think this afternoon we're going to do a meta-analysis on it. Sorry I rambled so much. Trying to get my thoughts out on Pharaoh, but it's just kind of interesting to look at those different shield scenarios to be like, what is with this Pokemon? Okay. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. Check out that meta-analysis video this afternoon. A little less rambly. We'll see. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.